Here comes the sun.
Whoa! Yay! Welcome to the CARPOOL HONCHO, guys. In the car today we have old
Dino from the crate.
Yeah, Rory from Naked Marketing. And our CARPOOL HONCHO guest today is Kevin Blakeman from Beaufort Co. And he's got an awesome cafe on Otea Valley Road, eh?
Correct.
Civil Centre?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
How do you pronounce that?
Otea Valley Road, the Civil Centre.
How do you pronounce it?
Otea Valley Road, Civil Centre, Beaufort Co.
Who's right?
Me, of course, because I'm a Kiwi, mate. We've got an Englishman, South African, and a Kiwi in the car today. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. And mate, your cafe is pretty darn cool.
Oh, amazing food.
I do have a habit of stopping in, which I guess is what a cafe owner wants, right?
Exactly,
Someone that loves the coffee, loves the food, loves the people.
Yeah.
And Beaufort Co definitely pulls that off like a treat. So tell us a little bit more about your business.
Yeah, so there's Beaufort Co. We always say we hope that we do great coffee and food. Love to do great service, and then also there's a private chef business, going into people's homes, cooking for them, special occasions and things. And then there's catering as well, corporate catering and weddings and all that sort of stuff as well.
Cool.
Yeah, lots going on.
Well, I want to explore those three topics a lot more with you while we're in the car, but we must not go any further without thanking our amazing sponsors.
Thanks, guys.
Today's podcast is driven by our friends at Albany Toyota.
And we are fed by our mates at Sal's Pizza.
And our tunes are brought to you from The Sound Store.
So what are we talking about today, Dino?
Customer retention is our amazing series that we're going through right now.
Yeah.
And it's part of our lifestyle series where we ask the guests, the honchos in our car, what is the number one non-negotiable thing that you do in your business when it comes to that area, which is customer retention. So talk to us, Kevin.
Yeah, like it is in hospitality, it's number one, it's king. You know, you've got to make the customers know that they're welcome. You've got to keep them, and that's key. Without the customers, there is nothing, right? You know? So for me, it's being visible. We have three factions to our business, so it's not always possible to be there all the time. But we know there's time. We know when it's time to pull back, get into that cafe, make sure that I'm seeing my customers. We know the customers, we know their coffees, but without actually being there, that's not going to happen.
It's so important for me as a person frequenting a cafe like yours to actually see the owner and make sure
it's so special.
It's so good if an owner actually comes up to you and says, "Hey Rory, hey Dean, how's it going?"
Yeah.
And it just makes you feel special and makes us always want to come back to your place as well.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, like I say, it's definitely the key. We know all our people. We ask them how they are, and you get to know them, and you get to know things about your customers that you wouldn't tell another stranger, but they tell you because that's who you are. You're that shoulder, you know. So if we're doing too much, yeah, absolutely.
So you got the hairdresser thing going on.
Yeah.
Hairdresser, you start telling stuff you never really want to talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens at the local cafe.
Yeah, because if you see someone every day as well, you also know that they're not themselves today. You know, so you can say, "You okay?" And sometimes it comes out, sometimes it doesn't. It's up to them really, rather than me.
It's like a hairdresser.
Yeah. Well, you go so often. Man alive, you're poor hairdresser.
And we do have a very good hairdressers there as well. Actually, they're really good. Actually, you know, it's sometimes, especially December's and times like that, we're doing a lot of catering and we're doing a lot of dinners and things, and it might be a case of we haven't really been at the cafe that much, and customers will say to me, "Hey, you've had a bit of time off, or we haven't seen you." And I know then that's time we need to get back in there, get back on the coal face as it would. And occasionally my wife will say, "You're doing too much," you know.
All right, can I unpack that for a sec? So what we're saying here is you've got your core business is your cafe on Otea Valley Road.
Yeah.
It's well known, it's got a lot of momentum, you got a lot of great credibility on social media, we see you all the time.
Great food.
The donuts, can't go past talking about the donuts that get so amazing. How do you come up with all those different flavors? Anyway, and then you've got a catering side of your business, and you've also then got a private chefing part.
Yes.
Which are all booming, and you've taken over a business from somebody else, you've bought it from someone, and it's, you know, the turnover and the success of the business is going to new heights. But what you're saying to us is the number one thing you do with customer retention is making sure that you're listening to the number one part of your business, which is the cafe, and the people that walk in, and when they start to sort of say, "Where's the owner?" that's your cue.
Yeah, it would be, and they're not saying it as in like, oh, you're never here. It's more a case of, oh, you've had a bit of time off or something. But actually, it's not the case. It's just doing something else, and it is. And I think that's because a lot of cafes, a lot of great cafes, you're there, and it's like, hey, how are you? And you might not even actually mean it. Like you're just saying it because that's what you're told.
Yeah.
So we make sure that you actually mean it. Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, definitely.
So there's cues, Rory. There's cues that you get from your customer. This hasn't come up in any of our conversations so far.
Yeah, this is great.
Listen to your customers, not just kind of like for the obvious, but find those kind of like intimate cues that you have that connection with your customers when they start to kind of, tremble in their voice a little bit on an issue, to go, man, maybe as an owner, I've got to actually step up a little bit further. I love that. And of course, his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his wife. Do you know the thing I like most about Kevin? And I haven't known him that long, but he's from Liverpool and he does not support Liverpool Football Club.
That's the most important thing. Actually.
That's the most important thing right now. Hey, customer retention. So what happened in your life that made you think that customer retention is so critical to a business like yours?
At the time, it didn't really mean a lot, and it just felt like an induction. But I think hotel background has really helped.
Totally.
Previous to the cafe, I was hotels for 10 years, and hotels in general, good hotels. I'm sure there's bad ones too, but hotels in general, it's about the experience rather than just turning up, using a bed and going away again. Like you go that extra mile. Mr. Smith or Mrs. Smith, it always comes, they like this, so you make sure that you're doing that every now and then. We've had a customer who really loved his mustard, so like because he was a frequent traveller to the hotel, we'd make sure we got special mustards for him and stuff like that, and that becomes a normal habit, like that's a normal thing that you're now doing, rather than just it's people aren't numbers, like they are, they're individual. So
I had a bit of experience. I was on the cruise ships for a couple of seasons, and I was in a 5-star restaurant, and really sort of it builds that sort of spirit of service within you, and I think that's also been a key part within me that's transferred into my business, because I really want to serve people and I want to do the best for my customers. And I think you coming from that same background would have the same thing, right? And the Crate's got the same sort of mentality, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think it came out actually when we had out actually Tiffany, who works for us, that you met, she's come out of the hospitality industry as well, and we're just actually remarking last week's episode how a good time, in hospo does you the world of good in any business, any business.
I think the very quickly, my best experience, again, that would be ingrained on me now, is when a couple of times ago I went home and I went to Ramsey's initial restaurant is sort of flagship, and it was always been a dream to go there.
Cool.
Now we were looking at the menu, and I went with my chef friend who's in the UK. We were looking at the menu. I noticed they had Cumia River wines on the menu. So when we made the booking, I joked that I'll bring a bottle with me, and when we got there, the service we got was, oh, you're the chef from New Zealand. And they knew. I didn't tell them anything, and I couldn't work out how they knew, but it was just from that one little information.
Wow.
They'd done that service. We met the chef afterwards, all sorts of things, just because of that one little comment. That service, that's how it is.
So it wasn't a kitchen nightmare that night?
No, definitely not. It was quite the opposite.
Talking about Ramsey, since you wanted to go down that track, what's it like in your kitchen? Does it get heated?
The opposite. So I was that sort of personality at first,
really?
But there was only one person that suffers, and that's me. And staff don't listen. Like it's like they're also people. Like, and if you're just in a rage all the time, it's in one ear out the other. And it's not fair. It's not right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like the staff and the guys that we work with are awesome, and
Kevin Ramsey,
we look after them for sure. But not even never basically almost never raising a voice anymore. Like it's a good atmosphere. Good atmosphere. Yeah.
You've loosed that anger, you've let it go.
No anger.
People like you.
Yeah, exactly.
I reckon you could do a podcast from your kitchen.
Oh, we've always told about it. Yeah, Netflix series. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
we want to be on it, right?
I want to be on it.
As long as you don't yell at us.
The food.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Awesome. So, what positive impact has this had? Like, what's the outcome? What have you seen that it's actually done to your business?
Growth is the biggest example, I guess, and people they say to us about how nice it is coming into the cafe. They want to come back, we're being rewarded with that. You know, like we see more and more people all the time. We have people coming all the time going, oh, we've heard about this and we've heard about that. Like, that's just been amazing, because the stress of taking over a business November 2020 in the middle of COVID, like a hospital business, you're like, I don't know why I'm doing it, but like I want to do it, and it's just that's taking a lot of pressure off our shoulders, because actually just being nice to people has made the business what it is so far. Yeah.
Like, business really isn't that hard, is it?
I think we complicate it ourselves.
I think we do
sometimes. I think
sometimes.
we really put a lot of pressure on ourselves to just complicate things, and not keeping life simple really just doesn't do anybody any good.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the customer. And you talk so much, Rory, about the importance of delighting, you know, having an attitude to continually delight your customers.
Yeah. We will do that. Like, it's always random. Every now and then, if we find out it's someone's birthday, we crank up happy birthday as loud as possible, and we take them a cake out with a candle in and stuff. You know, so, and obviously you can't do that all the time, because then it's not special.
Yes.
But you got to keep it fresh. It might not be a cake; it could be anything that we're doing. And the other one is suspended coffees. We have a wall of suspended coffees, and that's someone else can buy a coffee, and then we'll give that to a paramedic or on duty, or if someone, you know, we've got the North Cross doctors down the road from us. I've been up all night because my such and such is sick, or my son broke his leg. Don't worry, we've got your coffee today, and we always make sure we say, or someone else has got your coffee today. They paid for it, you know. So we do that, you know. So, and it is, and like I said, business is easy when you, to a certain extent, but like it's hard work, but it's easy to get right if you just do the right things. Yeah.
Like that.
Just be nice to people.
Yeah.
So you actually said that you did pretty well through COVID, which a lot of guys in your situation wouldn't have. And would you sort of attribute that to the way your mindset and the way you actually treat your staff, your customers, and that sort of thing?
I would never say, oh, it's just because, you know, just because we do our job well. We know also we have to acknowledge that we are lucky. We're not in the city. There's a lot of pain in the city. We are, you know, we're a residential area, so there is that bit of luck, but also at the same time, it's not all luck, because you can be in a residential area and be bad also. You know, so like it's a combination of the two. We work hard for it. We genuinely like our customers. You know, like forget about the transaction. We genuinely like our customers, and that's the atmosphere we have. So
well, the saying is, you create your own luck, right?
I'll take that. Yeah.
So this has been really awesome. Did you want to ask him anything else before we move on? Because this is
it's so cool. I mean, I guess I want to jump in a little bit just to refresh our listeners that you've got the cafe on Otea Valley Road that has those really annoying new speed bumps. I want to ask you what you think about the speed bumps.
I don't have to travel over them, so I'm all right.
Can we drive over them and do a test live for everybody at about 50 k's an hour to see what they're like?
All I'd say is everyone that came into the cafe complaining on them all said the same thing. Oh, now I can't rush to get through the lights, and I'm thinking, well, I think that's what they're for. I think that's what they're for. So it's bizarre. Speed bump at lights, it's bizarre, but it's certainly been a topic of conversation.
And you know they're putting 4 of them at North Cross. A T, we love you. Not a T, was it? AT, Auckland Transport. Anyway, in the news a lot today. No, my next genuine question was the fact that your business has those 3 aspects, right? The cafe, the catering, of which, by the way, the Crate is very big fans with regards to your corporate catering. So thank you very much for an amazing job. And the chefing. Tell me about the chefing and delighting your customers there and what that means to you. And by the way, how much does it cost to get a private chef in my home?
You've got to do this.
Or at the local batch or whatever we're doing.
It's people think it's an exclusive and you can't afford it unless you're making rich or thing, but it's really not. Like our basic starts at, and it's basic as in it's the lowest courses. We design a menu together, so you have to be 100% with the menu. We don't pick up a list. We design a menu for you. It's $99 a head, minimum 10 people, and we come up to your house and we bring everything, pots, pans. The only thing we don't bring is an oven and a kitchen sink. Everything else, like we bring for you cutlery, plates, and we create a restaurant in your home, basically.
Good value for money. We should do that.
You should do that. You really think, I mean, whether, So we're saying minimum 10 people, $99, $1,000. You know, even if you've got a couple of friends again, you're pitched in, like that is such a fun event.
You're going to spend way more going into town for a night out.
The other thing that does come with it is like, so we can do alcohol packages as well, where you do food. We never do food and wine matching. It's food and drink matching because I do cocktails and stuff like that. It's big,
Really?
A big side passion of mine is drinking and making cocktails. And
sweeten the deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we can do that, but also as well for people. The 99 is, if you do the 3 courses, like it's the food, right? So you save a lot by doing your own drinks as well. So like in the city, you wouldn't do that if you went out for dinner, you know? So it's, it's certainly been an industry, the private chef industry has been an industry that has certainly gained from COVID with people not wanting to go out and stuff like that. So
I actually did that through a family friend who was an Italian chef, and it was a birthday I'll never forget. And tell us a little bit what it feels like for you to be in that sort of intimate space with people. And
it's an incredible experience. Aside from the pay side of things, you know, you get the transaction, but you're at somebody's occasion. You are there forever. A birthday, a significant event in which they've invited you into their home and trusting you with that event, and that is the biggest privilege. And as soon as I started doing it, because this has been 9 years now, doing that, as soon as I did it, that was it. I fell in love with it, and it was almost at the start, it was a bit of a hobby. And just going in and creating those occasions, is that there's no better feeling than when you leave and someone says, that was incredible, and that's it.
We did it in Mauritius once, and we always talk about it still. It's just such a special occasion.
Absolutely.
So tell us, Kevin, we're coming up to your restaurant, but what I want you to please give our audiences a couple of tips and tricks on how to implement best practice for customer retention for them out there.
I think I've said it a few times, but it's basics. Like, you've got to start with the basics. You've got to be genuine, people. If you are not willing to work at the business, if you're not willing to be nice and look after people, then especially with hospitality, don't bother. That is it. And you just gotta, the old saying, customer is king. I'd say they are joint king with the staff, because if you are treating your staff in the same way, then they will also do that when you're not there.
Love that.
So that's for me. Staff and looking after the customers, absolutely. But again, it's got to be genuine. If you're just saying hello and you're doing a transaction, then don't bother.
Pick it up.
Don't bother. Yeah.
Well done, man.
So cool. Before we wrap up, Naked Marketing are an amazing marketing company. We've worked very, very closely with them for the last couple of years, taking care of our website and our social media and our SEO and all those kind of things. How important is that to your business?
Yeah, it's when we took over, it was really big on Instagram. The cafe was already really ingrained, but not really Facebook wise. And through my other business, through the private catering, we'd always use Facebook, and the engagement from the customers is incredible. Like, we have a really high engagement on the community groups on Facebook.
Yes.
So we've definitely brought that in. And every weekend we post Torbay, Albany, all those, just that once a week. This is the flavors this weekend, and that has been a big change to this business. Has been that sort of community group, and that goes along with what we do. So we're in the community groups as well as in the community. You know, like you have to be present. If you're not present, and people, you said it to me today, people say, "Oh yeah, I've seen your donuts on Instagram or Facebook." You know, that is part of the business for sure.
Yeah.
These community groups are so good, Jack.
Yeah, definitely.
In New Zealand. I think people really support them really well.
Definitely. And it's either, people want to read something other than what's the police helicopter flying around.
That's normally the lady with the short moppy style. What's her name, Lauren?
There's always the same things about, and then the donuts pop up, and all of a sudden, bang! There's something different on the community pages. So
So the power of social media is so important. So please, guys, don't miss the opportunity to connect with Rory and the guys at Naked Marketing if you want to get your whole social media and marketing out to a whole new level. But it's been an absolute pleasure to have you in the car, mate.
Yeah, same.
And we have now parked up outside Beaufort Co. And I think we do something we've never done before, and that is take that camera off and do a bit of a roving camera.
Sure.
And we're going to go in there and check out the donuts. Can we have a little lick? Or maybe in the back.
Hey, it's COVID, bro.
So let's have a look at Beaufort Co. and let's get Chef Kev Chef Kev to take us for a little bit of a tour.